Hello, I'm Skid, and welcome to episode 3 of my Satisfactory playthrough. Before we get on to what my plans are today, we need to quickly go over something. So, in my a look at video, I said that the option in the options menu, which apologies for people watching on 21:9, the maintain Y FOV aspect ratio option doesn't work. In fact, it does. I don't know why I didn't, or because I tested it a week beforehand. I don't know why I thought it didn't work. My best guess is that because the FOV slider instantly updates, I assumed that pushing this button would do so as well. But that doesn't appear to be the case. However, having now retested this and then logging out and logging or restarting the game, I found out that this setting doesn't appear to save, and every time I come into the game I have to go into the options menu and toggle this setting to get it to work, which technically still makes the console faster, because there's this pause between pushing the button and you have to navigate through the interface versus pressing 3 buttons. So yeah, the option does work, but it doesn't appear to be sticky. It doesn't remember. So first things first, I want to extend out from these production facilities to storage containers so that they're constantly running, and then the same with these ones and the same with that. That's task 1. Task 2, get up the ladder, thank you. Task 2 is going to be to get Logistics 2 research done so that I can get my mines running at full capacity. Yeah, nothing too onerous in here. And then task 3 is going to be to get field research done. With the plan being that I will have a look at what research there is and decide for the next episode if I want to continue building stuff or if I want to go and do some research and find some stuff. So let's get storage underway. So this is going to be very messy to start with. I'll have to deal with that. Doesn't really matter where they are for the time being, we just need them somewhere. Is that the right way around? Yeah, okay. Let's belt up. I don't know why I'm making these belts nice and neat, but nice and neat they will be. Or at least relatively. I have the stuff that I could theoretically stack these on top of each other, but I'm not that fussed. That'll do for now. Okay, and let's get 3 more over here. Let's actually just straight up put them here. I built this here to make this easier, so I really should be using it. Okay, so one there, one there, one there. Can we get that in here? Or do we need to, yeah, we need to be able to actually see the inputs to be able to do that. Damn. So we're going to have to go down there anyway. Nope, get off the ladder. Not as useful as I was hoping it would be. Oh well. Oh yeah. Okay, that's... well, that's okay for now. We'll worry about the wires in a bit, because we don't need that many wires. Merger. Nope, that's a splitter. Wait, no. Oh, it's because I was expecting the arrows on the opposite side to be orange if they were inputs, but that does not appear to work. Can we have that sitting on the top here? Thank you. Just going to make this entire place more hazardous and more likely to have me yeet myself into oblivion below. So it's not quite so in the way. Is that lot coming? No, that's coming. Good. Okay. Right, let's have a quick look at our power situation before we start with that next upgrade. So this is all merrily processing away. Let's have all of this. How much headroom do we have? We can probably get away with what I want to do next. Okay, so we have the power output for it. What we don't have is the trying to remember, isn't there a way where I can look at a building and then immediately try to place that building? I vaguely remember that being a command that I could do, but I can't remember how you go about it. There we go. Can't afford. Yes, we need. And they also added this ability. I can steal stuff from belts. When I'm playing Factorio, this is how I grab most of the resources I use to build. I just sweep the belt. Okay, this thing needs a configuration. It also needs wiring up. That's iron. So, server doesn't appear to sync these particularly well, because we collected them in our initial video, and then when we came back, when we put them on the server, they were back here, and we did in fact pick them up, but we never got them. See, not in our inventory anywhere. So probably should report that as a bug. How would you phrase that? Because it looks like yeah, all the foliage has remembered that it's not intact anymore. Okay, there we go. So that gets us crafting of all of those going nicely. There's 200 of that. It's 300 of that. Oh, one of the other things that I wanted to get done today is I'm going to move my hub, up on top of that little hill there, which means we need to clear out the space up there. I'm going to put down some foundations for it as well. Do we have many plates? We are actually short on plates. Go figure. Let's manually make some, because I don't think they take that long to hammer out. And since we do have a bunch of iron ingots on hand. I forget, do tier 2 plates need reinforced plates? Am I going to need to get that production line running as well? Possibly. Distinct possibility. One sec, warm tea. Something in the back of my mind is telling me I'm forgetting something else, but it's too late, we've started. I suppose I did want to discuss basically how how uploads have been going, that because obviously at this point it's Friday today, I didn't state it's the 19th. Episode 1 came out yesterday, and that took not quite, did it take, how long did it take? It was done about, actually I don't know when it was done by, because it still says it's processing on my dashboard in the minute, but 8K has already rendered, so I'm not sure. But it must have taken at least like 30 hours, and Fridays is still processing, which is a shorter video, and it's had the same amount of time. So at least I know that at the very least, let's just get rid of the rest of this. These ingots. So at the very least I know that what am I saying? I have lost my train of thought. Yeah, but at the very least I know that I'm going to need about, how long would it be? Two days worth of space between uploading and when the video is supposed to go live, in order to make sure that everything is on time. Oh, we never powered them. So why are building them if we don't put power on them? See, this is why everything is temporary, because I can barely get myself around. That's only got one more connection on it, and that's kind of feeding through there, so let's disconnect this. Put one here, one here. Wire that to that, that to that, that to that, that to that, and that to that, and then that to there. Okay, so that's now got that running. Okay, so next thing we're going to need, because all of this is temporary, don't worry about the specifics, Nathan. Okay, so let's work from this end. We put that down. We're going to need more power for all of this one way or another. That much I can guarantee. No, we need an assembler. Not what I wanted to do. Put that on number 4 for the time being. Oh, we're going to need some stators. No, they're not stators, they're rotors. What are required to make 4 rotors? Iron bars. So yeah, obviously this entire setup is not particularly optimal. But the hope is just to get me a base amount of stuff working. So that I can then build more permanent structures. Because ideally, what I actually want to be doing is having these 4, or because we're about to have 4 of them, 4 of these outputting onto a single line, because they do or convert 1 for 1, and having that line split off into each of these rather than having 1 for everything. So let's put this here, and then we're going to need, don't believe they line up, they don't. That there. Need some more cable. That there. Configure this for one of them screws, and I think the other one's plates. Configure you for plates. Configure you for screws. Attach that directly to the back. Configure you for rods. I don't think it matters which one they go in. And then we need, yeah, let's do this way. Oh, we're out of wires. It's a good job we did this. I'm sure there's a bunch of shortcut keys I'm forgetting that makes what or some of what I'm doing easier. Let's have one here and then one on the other side here. So that, oh, could do with being a little bit nearer, but does the job. Iron. Iron. I'm going to merger and then a splitter. Excuse me, game, what are you trying to do there? Stop trying to give me a seizure. There we go. Okay. Too close? Nope, we're out of plates. Goes into that. Goes into that. That goes into there. Goes into there. And that goes into there. This is almost certainly going to be, or draw too much power. That doesn't appear to be connected to anything. That's fine. We can use that. This is totally going to take the power down. I guarantee it. I'm just waiting for the breaker to flick. It's gonna go. It will probably go the second I connect this, so let's make sure it doesn't get to that point. There we go. Now we don't need to fear the dreaded noise. Okay, let's take that down. Connect. My kingdom for tier 2 poles. There we go. It's going. It's not going to go particularly quickly, but it's going. We need 50 total. Gonna need a few more of this. What are we gonna run out of first? I think we're running out of screws first. Trying not to rush myself this time round. I most definitely felt like I ended up rushing myself during the last episode. Which, while I didn't mind, I do want to be like taking things a little bit more leisurely with this particular game. We are one short. If I have a look at select recipe, does it doesn't cancel current production, that's okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's fine.
Milestone reached. Improved versions of conveyor belts and conveyor lifts are now accessible. To encourage additional verticality, conveyor poles now have a stackable variant.
Okay, let's put... yeah, we're running out of space. Shall we... let's move power onto 3. And then we'll have logistics on 1. Splitter then merger. There we go. Right, next task. I do want to get this at some point, but mostly I just want to be throwing spare resources into it. And I do kind of want to get this, even if it's only going to be a temporary solution, but field research is the thing we want want first. Which isn't going to take too long to get. So while we're waiting on that, so if memory serves, let me just check the options a second. I've remembered after yesterday's, well, sorry, not yesterday's. I remembered after I noted that this was really quiet, that all of these now have individual volume sliders. I still can't hear it. Oh wait, no, there's no fuel. That's why we came over here. Came over here to get fuel. It's definitely making a noise. It's just really, really quiet for some reason. Sorry, you're going to have to put up with this for a little second, just while I try and figure out why this is so quiet. So this is the size of the chainsaw if we hadn't changed that other option. It's kind of in the way. Yeah, I don't know. It's just super quiet now, even at max volume. Which is kind of a shame, because a chainsaw should be loud. Okay, so we're going to be moving the hub up to this area here. Probably right on this edge here, which means at the very least we're going to need this tree down. And that took that one down as well. And that one. Okay, that wasn't quite the plan. Slightly too much deforestation, but never mind. I forget, did we get access to the customizer? No, that was locked behind... That's locked behind, what's it called? I forget the name of the upgrade now. It's locked behind... There's the again. we're again. Resource sink. It's locked behind the awesome sink. Tech. So yeah, we're going to be moving this thing up there. I'm kind of, at the minute, contemplating the idea of putting the biomass power plant up on the top of there or up on the top of there, but I've not gone up there to have a proper look yet. Okay, so we're just missing... Are you not getting iron plates quick enough? You're not getting iron plates quick enough.
Milestone exchange concluded. Fix-it freighter re-entry complete.
Thank you, Ada. I was waiting for that. Oh, right, yeah, that's the problem. The problem is this. Problem fixed. The problem is the reason we got tier 2 logistics in the first place. Get that stuff smelting. However, we do not have enough to do the same over there, because that's going to be slowing down these ones. Good, we've got enough of that. Let's throw this stuff into here. Oh, no, wrong way around. And the wood into here. Let's top up this one because this one's going to be the lowest. What was I wanting to do? I know I'm going to need a bunch of concrete. How much concrete is it for foundations? Yeah, we're going to need a bunch of concrete, so let's make sure this thing is running relatively at full speed without falling off. Do we have enough? No, we need a few more. Do we have resources on hand to make them? We do. 1, 2. I forget, when I do that, does it drop those items into my inventory? No, it doesn't. It puts them back on the belt. Good. So that should hopefully get those running at full capacity. Our actual power system is perfectly capable of keeping up. And we're not going to have enough resources to do the copper one at the minute, but we don't need much in the way of the copper currently. So I'm not too concerned. We should have enough to get field research down. Ah, we've used too many screws. We've got plenty left. I was worried this might come into it. I've been playing a lot of Deep Rock Galactic recently, at least a fair amount. Zeke the Geek streamed it a couple of days ago. When would it be? Wednesday night? It was either Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'd already played it beforehand.
Milestone.
So yeah, now that he was playing it, since it is a co-op game and I normally play solo just because I don't have mates.
Items and buildings based on samples collected in the field. To ensure a greater chance of success during exploration, an upgraded tool belt has been provided, as well as an object scanner and beacons. Note: the object scanner requires calibration via the MAM to enable detection of specific objects.
Okay, yeah. So I've normally, or I originally when I started playing that game, I was only playing it solo. I can't remember if I played it when it was released or while it was in early access. I forget when I was playing it, but it was decent enough fun. It's just like levels take a bit too long and can be a bit dull if you're playing on your own. So, joined Zeke, played it a bit, then wanted to play it a bit more, so I've been playing a bunch of that. And my main character is the scout. So I keep wanting to press 3, pointing in a direction and going zip to propel myself over to a place. But no, I don't actually have that ability in this game. Question. No. I wasn't sure whether or not that would be in there. Let's go over to 10. We'll put it into here for the time being. I think it's a special structure? Yeah. Put it in as 9. We have the materials for it. We'll just plonk it down for now. It's going to get moved with the hub in a bit. But we want to have a look inside. So we have done tier 1, so we're looking at these two next. I think we'll grab this one just because we have the resources for all of this auto crafting, and eventually we'll just be able to hand it in. So we don't have any hard drives. I can go get myself one. Does it count the fact that it's in my storage box? Can it pull from there? Probably not. Yeah, we need to grab it out of the storage box. Okay, that's only going to take 3 seconds, so let's just get that done.
New recipe unlocked. New research available in the MAM.
I think the recipe that's unlocked is the ability to make biomass out of the alien stuff. It's not going to be in there, it'll be in here. Oh, it's not. What recipe did it unlock then? It doesn't actually... Ah, right, no, this is the recipe. Okay, so we don't have enough of that, so we'll be able to get some of that when we go out exploring. Similar sort of thing for this. This is just a different kind of organism we haven't met yet. Okay, we have enough for that. Okay, we're going to need more.
New resource added to the resource scanner.
Excellent. If memory serves correctly, once you've got all of these, it unlocks basically a health inhaler. Fungus-like vegetation. We're going to need to find this stuff. Crystalline material, chemical material. I think that's sulfur. So I think that's what we will do next episode. We'll go out and explore. It'll also give us a, because we now have access to beacons, it'll also give us the ability to go look for, or have a look up there to see how, oh, I don't need to climb it, there's literally just a wall over there. Is that sulfur? That might be sulfur. Object scanner, we should make ourselves one of those, bunch of beacons. Beacons aren't too expensive. And beacon stack. Okay, let's do a quick resource grab. Make sure we have a stack of everything. actually have enough to get the resource sink research done. No, we're going to need some more copper. In fact, let's just grab everything. No, we don't need more screws. One stack, actually no, because we go through screws like no one's business. We'll grab the second stack of screws. So let's hand in what we can hand in. And then we'll move that up there. Or actually no, let's build the platform for it first. We're going to have to take everything out of here. Oh, I can just disassemble that and pick it up. But if I leave it there, can I build another one of them yet? We can. Oh yeah, we got that with the man. I'm not paying enough attention. I heard that. What's that? Oh. It's you being very, very stuck. My derpy fellow. Yeah, I'm fairly sure I can pick that up without too much issue. Just wondering how much of the individual things I can move around. The second we move this, we are gonna lose power. So let's get the foundations down first. Let's see if we can actually get a decent angle on them from over here. Probably not. Nah, I'm better off being over there. Ouch. I am going to kill myself unless I can find some food soon. The ultimate plan is, I kind of do and I kind of don't want to play with the sulfur.
Data shows this is a mix of sulfide and sulfate minerals. It could be an indication of recent volcanic activity. A new research tree exploring volatile self-defense applications can now be accessed in the MAM.
Volatile self-defense applications. Fair enough. You could refer to basically shaped charges like that. Yeah, let's keep these ones as only the smaller ones, because they only need to be. They don't need to be these big ones. Oops, I meant to put that in, zoop. I think zoop is the perfect word for that particular function. But what was I saying about, before I noticed sulfur, about my, power in the factory is about to die. What was I saying about... Oh yeah, jump pads. I'm not sure if I want to have jump pads up here. I kind of just want to have a staircase. But I also kind of want to actually be able to get around quickly, and jump pads are a way to get around quickly. Even though they don't, strictly speaking, look very factory-like. But in a minute, my base doesn't exactly look very factory-like, so why am I complaining? Anyway, let's get... Oops, I opened the console, that's the wrong button. Let's get the hub back down. that way round. Do I want it right up against the edge? Floor's too steep? What are you talking about? I don't think this fits centrally. I think it's an odd size. Good out. Wrong button again. I don't know why I'm going for that button for this particular, just to do this. Okay, that will give the space. That's better. That's more central. That's perfect. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, we need to reconnect the power grid. Can we have ourselves a power pole over here? We can't because we don't have the wires. Let's feed you. And you. Weird that there's no steps here. Let's restore this, this. What else wants to go in storage? That and that, and that and that. Actually, no, we want sulfur for a second, don't we? Okay, if memory serves, although I have just made this slightly taller, but I think I can just drop down here without taking damage. We're out of wires, aren't we? And while we're at it, we may as well throw that on there. Let's get this all out, and we'll keep it all in our inventory for now, just so that we can fill these up when they need filling up. So, I'm about to show you why I didn't put that up there at the very, very start. Be with you in a minute. There we go, halfway there. Imagine having to do this every single time you wanted to craft something. That's why we did not. Or every time you wanted to handcraft something, I should say. Okay. Let's have one here, because we'll build another one of those in a bit. Not today, but we will eventually build one. Oops, that connector's not meant to go there. You're supposed to connect to that, you're supposed to connect to that, you're supposed to connect to that, and you're supposed to connect to that, and now we can throw the switch. Lovely. Okay, now we just need to put down which button is it? Equipment workshop. I didn't really think through where we're going to put all of this stuff, or how we're going to have this stuff laid out. Let's put it. That's going to get the tree as well, isn't it? Damn, I should pay more attention. I don't want to be cutting down trees if I can avoid it. I am sorry, useful plant. You need to go. Hey, we actually got a berry. There was a berry on that one this time round. Hey, we can heal ourselves a little. So we can't build the stairs on here that I want to build yet, just because we don't have access to... There we go. This makes more sense. Let's bring this forward a bit so it's in line with that. Because I need access to something that I'm going to get from... What's it called? I am forgetting everything! Jesus Christ. This is only episode 1 of today. I need to record 3. Floor is too steep. How is the floor too steep? You are on a... You're supposed to be sitting on top of foundations. What are you playing at? Is the issue... Because yeah, now you're encroaching on someone else's area. Floor is too steep. Is it because you're hanging off the edge? You're hanging off the edge, that's why. This fits. Okay, fine, you can go that way round. Gonna move this over a bit. This is not how I wanted to have things laid out, but this is how it's going to end up. Because I don't want to make... Although this does make legitimate sense, because if I'm going out exploring, then my tool bench or workbench is here to make the stuff to go exploring with. My only problem is it does put the MAM a little out the way. I have to sit it over here. Okay, let's get that researched, because we only need a small amount that we have. Black powder. We need access to coal. I know where I can get coal, but we're not going to worry about it. So we need to make some more awesome beacons before we go out exploring. We'll worry about that tomorrow. Well, I say tomorrow, I'll be recording it shortly after this video, but it will be tomorrow for you guys or Wednesday, because this video will come out on Monday, and depending on whether or not I get 3 or 5 recorded, then the next one will either be Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not going to know until I've finished all my recordings for the day. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. This is why I wanted the this thing here, because this is a much better view. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the show, and hopefully I will see you, wrong button, next time.